It's time now for our safety valve. We players are going to take our emotions out of it. We're going to go to our betting expert, Sean Little, and let him guide us and figure out where we should be putting our money. First up, we have Baltimore at Pittsburgh. In my opinion, this comes down to quarterback play. You know, hopefully this week, Big Ben is more than just a meme. He's been getting destroyed in social media.
And ugly.
And, you know, and now there's accounts saying that he's told his close personal friends that this might be his last year and whatnot. The other side of the ball, Lamar, they got to win, but he threw some picks. He didn't play a clean game by any stretch. So defensively, they have stars on both sides. They have the ability, they can play. But I think this one comes down to quarterback play. What say you?
Yeah, I agree with that because I agree with what you're saying about Ben Roethlisberger. And he could have told his friends he was done or not. I think everyone else is going to make that decision for him anyway. I think that's how bad he's been.
It's been
I know he's a legend. I know he's got Super Bowl rings, but he's been playing really, really poorly. I think the biggest thing for the Steelers, too, is they get their two biggest guys back, T.J. Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick on defense, and they still get rolled out in Cincinnati. I thought that was a big, big sign that they're just – this is not the Mike Tomlin Steelers that we've come to know and can count on a week-to-week basis.
Well, that goes into, like, what I'm always saying, talking about, like, momentum is a big factor in these games, especially at this point in the year.
Yeah.
I mean, Minkah's a great player. TJ, a great player, right? He's got the stats, double-digit sacks, I believe, already, right? That's tough to do in this league. But when you get into that pattern, that mindset of, oh, here we go again as a group collectively out there in the field, that's hard to overcome, and they're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
Continuity, they just haven't developed any on defense between, you know, COVID losses. But the bigger thing is, like you said, it's not the stable Steeler defense. Regardless, the Steelers have always been a team, a franchise, an organization that's been able to ride waves, whether it's been through health, amazing performance, but they don't have the people or places in place that gives them that true continuity. And I believe they're the 28th ranked rush defense. When's the last time we've ever heard that about a Steeler defense? And that is what's really alarming. And, you know, but like I said, there's alarms on both sides of the ball. Because, you know, I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan, and he's not giving me a lot to sink my teeth in, but they do have a lot more going for them in the rush game.
David, I'd love to cut you off right now and talk about Lamar Jackson. In the meeting prior to the show, you know, you discussed how big of a fan you were of Jackson, but you're also a little worried. Why? Yeah,
I got my major concerns. The Steelers don't pose that big of a threat in light of. Let's just be honest. If we're going to be honest, we're going to have to look at his play collectively and say that there's some regression in Lamar Jackson so far this season. I'm not saying raise the alarm as far as him as your franchise quarterback, but he's not having those elusive, 5 touchdown games. He's throwing a touchdown. He's throwing a pick. He's throwing 4 picks. It's 160 yards. He's never been a major stat filler as far as 300, 400, but he has them. He has those games that make you really excited.
But look at his game, right? So he was out with an undocumented illness, right? So we don't know if he's full go, what he was struggling with, what he's actually recovering from, and the type of game that he plays requires you to be 100%, you know, and your immune system had better be ready to go if you're going to be running around and throwing the ball the way that he does. So.
Well, he's still running that rock. He's just saying throwing it.
And I'm going to tell you this. I was watching the game. That's one of the worst football games I've ever watched on national television. I was at home like, this is the type of football I played when we would go out for recess and we would just drop back and just throw the ball around and kind of look for stuff to do, right? It was that bad last week. So we'll see what happens this week.